Let's take a look at Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Lightning is one of my favorite versions of Salesforce because it really is a dynamic user interface, which I really enjoy. However, if you're used to Salesforce Classic, the Salesforce Lightning experience can be a little bit overwhelming. So what I'm going to do in this lecture is talk you through some of the main pieces that you need to know about Salesforce Lightning. The first thing is not to worry. Salesforce Lightning has the exact same features as Salesforce Classic. They often just look different, right? And I have a little caveat to what I just said. Remember, based on your version of Salesforce and based on the way that you've customized it, there may be certain objects, standard objects and custom objects that all Salesforce versions have the same standard objects, but when you have custom objects, that often is where the rubber hits the road in terms of the differences. Nevertheless, what I'm showing you is the nuts and bolts of the Salesforce Lightning. And at the top, we have all the standard objects from Salesforce. So I'm going to talk you through a little bit about what all this means and what you're looking at. The first thing you have is the home page. And this basically gives you sort of a snapshot of how you are doing as of July 31st, right? You can also refresh this. And that will tell you a little bit more about your data, and you can look at this by day or by week. So it gives you a sense of how you're doing. It can talk to you about your tasks and your deals and the recent records that you've looked at. You can also see some of the opportunities that are overdue, and that helps you sort of plan your day and think ahead. At the top, we have the different standard objects: chatter, opportunities, leads, tasks, files, accounts, contacts, campaigns, dashboards, reports, and chatter. It's quite a mouthful. But if I needed others such as groups, people, cases, and forecasts, I could click on the More tab right here, and that could give me more options, right? So if I wanted to edit this, I could go into the setup and actually go through and take some of these out. I'll show you that in a later lecture. Nevertheless, let's take a look at what we find when we click opportunities. We can click the arrow, which helps you immediately create a new opportunity. But what I'm going to do is actually click new opportunities. And what that does is just lists all the opportunities that you have. You can create a new one, or you can actually click on an opportunity name and go and have a look. And that's a similar thing that you'll find right across your leads, tasks, your accounts. You'll have a similar feature where you can import, you can create new, you can change the list view, you can edit these in a list view, right? So for example, if I found someone's number, I could immediately edit this right on the list view. And list views is something we'll talk about later as well. Nevertheless, let me not get too distracted with these awesome features of Salesforce Lightning. I'm going to go up here and just let you know what we find up here. What you could do is, if you click on your username, you could actually switch to Salesforce Classic and add a user over here. This bell gives you your notifications. The settings, especially the setup, is really, really important. In the setup, if I click that, it would take me to the object manager and the home manager. And that helps me really dive into looking at the users that I have, the data, the email. It helps me think about the apps and locate those apps. And it also helps me look at things like security, company settings, and identity, right? So if I ever need any help, I can easily click this, and this helps me sort of get some support and think through some of the questions that I might have. And perhaps you could even favorite some of your important go-to pieces in the Salesforce Lightning. I also want to make sure that you know about the search bar. The search bar is one of my most used items just because I have a small portfolio of very high earning opportunities and leads, and so I use the search bar to just basically go to them whenever I need them. And obviously I'm using a dummy version of Salesforce for training purposes, but in my actual job I actually use the search bar very, very often. You can also go on the side and actually go to the app launcher if you need to. And this can help you. You can even go to App Exchange, and this can help you really begin to optimize Salesforce for your needs. So this is just an overview of the Salesforce Lightning. I hope it's been helpful. And I look forward to seeing you in the next lecture.